the insightful introduction. I think that was well placed and put. And I'm very privileged to management for giving me the opportunity to really handle this important subject. And one thing I know is that at least at the end of the talk, this is not like a lecture on its own. So I am very hopeful that each and every one of us will pick something and we will be able to apply it. Because I also see a lot of people on the call from different time zones. So greetings to everyone, wherever you are joining us from. And I would just like to start with a simple, but I would say on easy kind of like question. In most cases, and I know the students here will admit to that, anytime you enter into college, the next question that mostly comes is after college, what next? But I mostly prefer to redefine or realign that question by asking, how prepared are you for the jobs that will exist tomorrow? Because you being in college is your now or your time T, or what in math they will say the initial time T, T naught, or in program you say your P naught in that domain. So how prepared are you for the job that will exist tomorrow? And this job that I'm asking are not those ones that we already know, as we can all attest to and we can all see. What I mean is that how prepared are you for the jobs that are being shaped by artificial intelligence as we talk to now? So basically, the topic selected by management is a very key and important one. And that is basically what we will be trying to handle today. And I've decided to partition it into three main components. So we have the very first goal where we will try to understand how best we can speak the language of AI. Because AI is basically how we are trying to do what? How we are trying to communicate with, just like we try to communicate with our peers or with our colleagues or with our seniors. So the first one we will try to touch is understanding prompt
prompt
engineering.
engineering.
I'm
I'm
having some
having
kind of
some kind of
feedback.
feedback.
Um,
Um,
can that be
can that
checked
be
for
checked
me?
for me?
I don't know
I
if
don't know
it's
if
from
it's
my
from my
end
end
or...
or
So I
so.
see
I see
Matthias, if you
Matthias, if
can
you can
mute.
mute.
Doctor, I think it's your this one, sir. It's not. I think it's not with the. It's not my side. Can you just check?
Unmute yourself. Once you join your
Okay, so I think it's better from my end now. So just like I said, the second goal will now just have to be we're trying to see how best we can position ourselves strategically in the job market. And we will just try to understand and also try to know some of the AI tools or portfolios that has what that has
That has
been built,
been built,
and
and
how
how
we
we
can
can
try
try
to
to
understand them
understand them
in that
in that
component.
component.
It's again,
So
doctor. Again, it's echoing. Yeah, I think there is the.
yeah, so I would just advise individuals to just mute, because when I mute everybody, I think it works very fine. So those who try to unmute, you please try and mute it for us. Thank you very much. So the very third goal will just help us to understand the limitations of AI and the ethical compositions that corresponds to what? That corresponds to that limitation. So to begin with, one thing I always want to start is the fact that AI isn't new. It is not something that is kind of like now jumping out of the skies and coming to us. It is something that is already in existence. The only difference at the moment is that it is just more widely used currently. And one thing about the AI is It does not possess any kind of human intelligence or consciousness. And I decided to
Uh,
put
uh,
this.
Doctor, sorry for interrupting.
Sure.
Could you just put it on the slideshow? I think it's not moving.
Oh,
The slide.
really?
Yeah. Please. You can make it on the
Oh,
slideshow.
sorry, because I
Okay.
think.
You can put it F5, so that it is on the full screen.
Is
F5
it
is fine.
moving now?
Yeah, you can put view full screen, or Shift
Okay.
F. Yeah,
But is it moving at the moment?
you can do it, or just try to move a slide. I will let you know.
Okay. Then let me just. Sorry about this.
Yeah, it's moving now. It's moving now. It's okay, but
Oh,
it's not yet on the full screen. Put it on the full screen mode.
okay.
You can go to the view full screen, or you can find the icon down there. Just put it on the full screen so that it's more big.
Yeah, I don't know whether the internet or whatever, because
It's okay, no problem. Doctor. So fine, no
yeah.
problem. It's okay, visible. Yeah.
So let me just try again and see. Yeah. And I hope you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, great. Thanks. And thanks for drawing my attention. So basically, just like I said, AI does not possess human intelligence or consciousness. And we will really get to know what I mean by this statement as we move forward. And one thing about the AI composition is that reproducibility is equally difficult and a little bit biased based on the inherent models that we do have. And here, the reason why reproducibility is a bit difficult has to do with the fact that you can type the same thing on two different occasions, and the results that you will get is different. And I'm trying to lay the foundation for you as to why you have to learn these basic techniques and have this basic understanding and position yourself well as to what to do in future. Because as we speak, there are many AI tools available to the public domain, and they all serve different purposes, which is good because just like we being college students, we are all trying to study different things. We have people who are into fashion, we have people who are into IT, we have people who are also in the business domain. So the AI tools are equally many and they are there for different purposes. But the most important thing is that we have two basic categories. One thing is we have all used AI before, and we can attest to that whether directly or indirectly. So we have the group who are excited and interested about the potential of AI. And then we have the second group who are very skeptical about the use of AI. But with this second group, if you are part of them, then I would say that sorry. And I'm saying this respectfully because if you look at the statistics that we currently have, the users of AI is increasing exponentially. And this is not just like, let's say, a linear growth. And even if it's a linear growth, it's more like a positively related linear growth, but it is increasing exponentially. And if you check the statistics, the one that was conducted just last year, March, they are anticipating that by the year 2030, we will be having about 1 billion AI tool users. So if you don't take the decision now, then it means that you will just be the outlier from this group of people. And it also tries to tell you that if you are already in it, then you have a lot of peers or you have a lot of colleagues who are equally interested in what? In what you are equally interested in. If you look at the year, you will be kind of like deceived, thinking that, oh, okay, then AI started in 2022. But just like I indicated earlier, the concept of AI has been with us It is just that it is now most widely used. If you look at the history, the little history surrounding it, the timelines are very significant, and it mostly always guide us as to what we are to anticipate as we move ahead or as we move forward. Because the history starts from the 1950s, and the 1950s is where we had the Turing test or Turing effect. With the Turing test, basically what it deals with or works it has to do with the fact that we have this man called Alan Turing, who was human like us. And I want to stress on that, though we are dealing with artificial intelligence. So he was human just like us and came up with a concept that there is the possibility for machines to mimic human intelligence. So he came up with the first neural network composition where you can do pattern recognition or recurrent composition. And based on that idea, we move into the 1960s where we have the ELIZA, the chatbot. And I know some of us might be familiar with the term or the name ELIZA. And ELIZA, the chatbot, was given the nickname in the 60s as what? The doctor. Because all that ELIZA, the chatbot, was doing was that when you type into the search engine, like I feel sad, the only thing Eliza would do was Eliza will ask you a further question. Why do you feel sad today? So based on those composition, and Eliza was um, brought about by Joseph in the 60s, an MIT student or worker. And it is through that composition that the natural language program started progressing. But the loop, or let me say, there was a gap, a huge gap between the 1960s all the way to the 2000s. So we normally refer the period between 1970 to 2000 as the AI winter effect. And this is because there was a lack of significant what? Progress. But there were a little bit minor developments. People were equally working behind the scene, but slowly. So it was in the 2000s that we started what? Having a feel of this whole AI composition. And because in the 2000s, we were now having the internet, and then we're having tools that were trying to connect individuals across different globes or continents. So the 2001 to the 2020 was the period where some progress were made. And then in 2022, just like the previous chart shows, we had the almighty ChatGPT, which decided to what? Put people's mind as to what we have to do, what we have to learn, or what we have to try and what work with. So that began the 2022 began the AI boom, where AI became more accurate, and then individuals or the community began to do what? Began to accept it in its composition. But the whole idea is, how does AI works? And this will lay the foundation of whatever we are talking or whatever we are discussing today. So the whole concept of AI is that it is a tool that mostly take large amount of data, and it uses it to train what? Their models that have been developed. Now, this data corresponds to so many composition. So it can be text, it can be video, it can be audio. And these data are provided by what? Are provided by humans, and it cuts across every situation. And when that is done, it uses a probability, or let's say a linguistic or statistic model, to try to generate the most likely.
Doc, sorry, your slide is not moving, sir.
So which part are you seeing at the moment?
Yeah, you just put it on this one. It's there in the AI basics.
Oh, then I think let me.
Put it on the slideshow, sir. So that
Yeah,
you can.
surprisingly, it was on the slideshow, and yeah, it's full screen.
But I think you are sharing the wrong window, sir. You have to share the right window. You can just check which screen you are sharing.
Okay.
You can go to the share screen and check the whether you're sharing the correct screen. Sometimes when you share the wrong screen, it will not move.
But how about now?
It says is there on the screen how AI works.
Yeah, but I'm trying to move the slides. Is it moving?
No.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. I don't know whether my Ubuntu or those stuff, but sorry about that.
It's okay, sir. It happens, huh? No problem.
I don't know if this moves.
No,
It's still not moving.
not moving.
Then let me just stop sharing and reshare again.
Please, please. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But you can see the screen now.
I can see the screen, sir. Can you just move? Just go to the next slide. I could just see whether it is. We can.
Okay.
It stands. It's moving already. Yeah. It's moving.
So this moves, right?
Yes. Very good, sir. Okay. No problem.
Okay. So I
Sir,
think maybe good. So
yeah.
maybe we can use it in this domain.
Yeah, you can do that, sir.
All right, that's fine. So just like I made mention, so the AI works in a way where it takes large amount of data and use it to train their models. So the data is mostly collected across the internet, and it includes text, images, and videos, as well as audios. And what it does is it deals with probability and statistical components to try to use the models to generate the most likely response that an individual gives when using the AI. So as a result, every output from a generative AI system is grounded by what we call the patterns that it learned from the data. And this is important because I think I have to, sorry. Um, I just have to make sure I move. I don't know what I clicked. Yeah. So I just have to move to the next one. Sorry about that. Yeah. I don't know if it's from my internet or it's responding very slow.
Okay, sir. I think it's not at visible, sir. Your screen is not visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Yeah, it's fine now.
All right. Just a minute. Yeah. So the whole idea of it is because AI generates responses based on the likelihood rather than understanding. The way we ask the question becomes just as important as the question itself, because you have to make sure that you communicate with the AI for it to try to what? Understand you. And this is where what we call prompt engineering comes in. A very important foundation that if you really have an understanding of, it really helps. So what prompt engineering does is it is just the practice of what? Designing an input in a way that will guide the model towards it being most what? Useful and accurate to give you the respected answer that you required from it. In other words, prompt engineering is basically learning how to do what? How to speak the model's language. So the AI tool that you are using, what prompt engineering is doing is you are able to understand that tool and you're able to communicate very well with it. With this aspect, we are not trying to write any complex code, but what we are doing is we are just communicating with a tool. So we are programming in what we call language. And the key composition of it is that it has its own element. So the element, the first one, as recognized by McKay, they perform a very excellent work on unlocking generative AI safety and its responsive use. So what they indicated was like, you can see yourself as going to the hospital and going to meet a doctor. Once you get to the hospital, you try to have a preliminary conversation either with the nurse or either with the doctor. And what happens is that the doctor sometimes asks you, oh, what brought you here? Although the doctor is aware that you are not feeling well. But the doctor will go ahead and ask you, maybe what brought you here? And then you will try to what? Explain certain key things to the doctor. What the doctor is doing is that the doctor is trying to what? Take a data from you via test. So you can tell the doctor, oh, you are having fatigue, you are having headache, or you can't eat, you feel very nourished, or whatever it is, or feverish. And then based on that data, the doctor will be able to try and do what? Try and recommend a particular drug for you. And that is exactly how AI prompt works. So you are the persona. You are trying to ask the tool to take a leading role for you. Just like you go to the hospital. Because you can't try and what? Administer a drug for your own self. You give that permission to the doctor to do it for you. So once you try to get an AI tool, you are trying to ask the AI tool to take what? To take a certain kind of role and work on it for you. So the objective is that what do you want the AI to do for you? So you now try to specify your audience. And by specifying your audience, you are trying to let the AI tool know where you are coming from. Maybe I'm coming from the math and computer science background. Another person is coming from the business background. So if I am trying to look for a term, I have to specify in what domain that I want to understand the term. Maybe I want to understand the term in the mathematics domain. Another person might want to what? Understand the term in the business or fashion design domain. And that is where your audience comes in, and then you try to now put this into context. What does the tool need to know? So you try to help the tool as much as when you go to the hospital, you try to help the doctor to provide you with accurate what? Diagnosis. And by doing so, you try to do what? Set boundaries. You set your own direction and you set your own what? Limitation. And that is how the prompt work, which we'll be seeing one very soon. But another key composition is that the task specification is equally important. So for example, if you want to include an image to the task you want the AI to perform, you have to do that. And if you want to include just a test, you have to specify that, or you have to what? Include that. And the next thing is to try to do what? Define the input required by the language model so that it will be able to provide you with the desired output that you expect from the system. And this is clearly important because when you create prompts, you have to communicate clearly so that the expected behavior of the model, as in the questions that you ask, should be clear and should be brief so that the model can really what? Work on it for you. And it is iteration in context. And as you do that, you will be able to use it to do what? Evaluate the key composition of it. And once it does that, you will be able to do what? Now calibrate and fine-tune your results. So basically, once you are doing prompt composition, there are three major things you can use. The first one is you can go only by text. That is, you can decide to input only text information. Or you can decide to do images, where you try to input an image and ask, let's say, your AI tool to explain that image for you or to regenerate what? that image. You can equally also do an audio or what? Or a video. And they are all important in their own respective what? Domain. Now, this is how the whole thing works. And this is specifically the composition of how prompts operate. And it is iterative in process, in the sense that you, the individual, you are expected to come with an idea. You don't expect the tool to have that idea for you. The tool is just there, and you have to come in with your idea. So when you get your idea, then you now come in to the tool and you write it in the prompt. When you write it in the prompt, you try to give the tool some time to operate. If it were to be in our normal human relation, what we will say is that we are giving the tool some time to do what? To think. So we try to give the tool the time to be able to collect its data from a priori results that it has been trained with. Once it does that, it will provide you with a result. So you will get your result all right. And the most important thing to do, which I always advise students, is don't always rely on the results that an AI will generate. And I keep making this statement because, to me, you are important or more intelligent than the AI tool, one way or the other, because you are guiding the tool. So once you get the result, try to read and analyze the results. When you read and analyze the results, and the result is okay for you, then your process ends at that stage. But there are some cases where you can see that when you analyze the result, you have to improve it because that is not the result you want. So you try to improve it again. And by doing that, it means you now have a new idea. And once you have a new idea, the process continues. And that is what we mean by it being what? An iterative process or an iterative manner. Let's just look at the 5 key components of a good prompt, which we've already discussed some. But the key composition is that you will have to provide some background information to frame the task that you want to do. So, for example, you don't just try to put in any open question. You have to try and guide the tool as to what you need. So the task that you are bringing should be clearly stated so that the AI will know what it wants to do. So that the output that it generates will what? Will try to be the specific output that you want. And the tone and style that you use is also very important. For example, if you're a master's student, your tone should be different from an undergraduate student or from a junior high school or senior high school student who is using the AI. It has to be different in their respective level so that the AI will know the data to train on and the output to provide to you. And it is always important to set constraints or to provide rules for the AI. If you don't provide a rule for the AI, then it means that you are giving the AI the chance to just give you anything that it feels like what? Feels like giving you. And that can be very problematic when you are dealing with time and accuracy. And if you look at this situation, the do's and don'ts of why you have to try and what? Use the prompts. And I'm specifying or trying to what? Rely solely on the prompt because that is the best foundation. If you're able to understand this, you can use any AI tool and you will be able to generate or obtain any results that you want. So one of the do's by using an AI tool is that use AI to help provide rapid initial research, meaning you don't have to rely on the AI to be doing some kind of like fact-checking output for you because it can easily deceive you. And then you have to use the AI to help explore ideas surrounding the problem. But you don't necessarily have to use the AI as a blindly way of what? Solving the problem for you, because they are just as a guide. So you use the AI to try to do what? Assist you in analyzing especially large amounts of data, which you know that if you are to do it individually, it would take a lot of time for you to do it. And you have to only accept the output when you have critically what? Assessed the results and it is okay. So you don't just have to accept AI output without a critical thinking of what? The results it produces. And you have to just use AI as a learning tool to enhance your own skills and knowledge, but not as a shortcut way of what? Learning, because it will indirectly have an effect on you. Now, there are various ways in which we can do what we refer to as what? Prompting. And the prompting can be in so many ways, but I decided to pick these 6 because I see it to be very critical in whatever we do. We have what we call the zero-shot prompting. And when you are dealing with the zero-shot prompting, in these techniques, you try to what? Involve or you write to the AI without providing any specific example or training. That means you go straight. And normally the zero-shot prompting is just okay when you are just trying to play around or have a feel of what something is. But for an in-depth analysis, it can really be worrying. And then we have what we call the few-shot prompting. And these techniques involve you trying to do what? You trying to provide some amount of small examples as a guide for the AI to give you its results. And then the chain of thought prompting. So here, the chain of thought is more like interconnected prompts. That means you have a very first prompt that you've made. It provided you with an answer. Then you went ahead to give what? To give another prompt. So you try to do what? You try to help connect those individual prompts until you generate what? The results that you want. And we have the tree of thought. So the tree of thought is what mostly some people will use when they are writing what we call like thesis. So sometimes if you have a thesis topic, you can create what we call the tree of prompt, because when you are writing a thesis, we have the introduction, which falls on what? The background to the study, the problem statement, the objective research question. So you try to put them in that hierarchical manner. And then you try to let the AI know that, okay, for each unit or for each section, this is what you have to do, or this is the specific thing I want you to do what I want you to do. And we have what we also call the knowledge prompting, where you try to do what? Help the AI tool by giving an additional information or an additional knowledge to it for it to give you what? Its results. And we have the last one, which is what? The react prompting. So react prompting is just you adjusting the results that the prompt gives you for you to have what? A better output. Good. Now, let's just watch this simple video. And in this video, the only thing I am just doing, or what I tried to do, was that I'm trying to engage in what? In the prompt. And what are we doing? I am giving the first prompt, and the first prompt is, for the sake of time, I decided to put the videos in so that we can just have enough time for the discussion or for questions as well. So if you look at this, what is just happening is I just give what? A simple instruction. And that instruction is what? What is photosynthesis? That is the first statement that I try to give. What is what? What is photosynthesis? Sorry, I don't know why the video is not playing. Is there an issue? Let me see if I hear any background noise. That will. In case you are successful or you're able to see that it's playing, you just draw my attention.
It's not it, doctor. Just
It's not? Okay. Okay. I don't know. Can you see it moving?
no.
Funny enough, it's kind of playing at my end. Still not moving, right?
It's not. It's not moving.
Okay. Um, let me just try the other way around. Is it moving at the moment?
Yes, 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 yes.
Good.
But it's not visible. But it's a little bit
Okay,
small.
it's very
Yeah,
small. All
very
right.
small. Just zoom. Can you just zoom in or something, right? Maybe put it on a full screen or something.
Yeah. So I'm trying to zoom in. I don't know about now.
Yes,
It's
yes,
still
yes.
very small.
It's small, but it's moving. Yeah, we could see that.
Okay.
We could see.
So basically, the only thing I'm trying to portray here, which you guys can just try behind the scene, has to do with the fact that what I am doing here is I first gave the first prompt, which is what is photosynthesis? That is just a very vague prompt that I did what? That I gave. As in, what is photosynthesis? So you could see that the tool was trying to what? Define what photosynthesis is. But this time around, it was giving me an additional information which I don't need. By giving me the chemical equation, by adding so many things that I don't need for what I am asking for. Because the only thing I do need is what? What is photosynthesis? Just define photosynthesis for me. So if you look at the second part, what the second part did was the fact that I now decided to give a rule by saying that define photosynthesis in one sentence. And by so doing, it did what? It just gave me the straightforward definition of what photosynthesis what is. Um, just a minute. I think I just have to use Windows and that's fine. Let's see. So, Dr. Vivek, you just let me know the screen that you see because of the issue we are having. Oh,
Yeah. It's the slide now. Huh? It is the slide.
okay. You can still see the slide.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Because it changes at my end here.
Yeah, it's changing, sir. You can see the slide now. The first slide.
Okay. Okay, it's not the first slide.
It is the first slide that is visible.
Oh, sorry guys. I don't know why this is behaving in that domain. So it's funny. Yeah. Let me reshare. I don't know the laptop just overheating. I hope this doesn't become a little issue. Sorry for the technical hitch.
Maybe I think this time is up, sir. You can just maybe you can conclude. after 5 minutes time, sir. So we are just
Oh, the
yeah,
time
yeah,
is
yeah. It's up to
so
10.
unfortunate. Okay. Then let
Uh,
me just
yeah. Sure, sir. Sure.
yeah, let me just quickly go through. I think because I spent majority of it on the prompt, that's fine. But basically, once we have this whole idea, one thing we just have to know is that we have several examples of AI tools across. And I'll just be brief in this, which I wanted to take you guys through. So we have those that are for the text generation. That's the GPT-4, which we know. We have DAL-E, which is for image generation. And then we have the chatbot, just like GPT. And those that are into music, we have the Deep Dream for artistic imagery, WaveNet for music, and MuseNet also for music and videos. So a whole lot can be used. An example is what? Hostinger. So Hostinger is perfect for individuals who are in the business domain. So if you want to create a website for your own what? For your own idea, for your own entrepreneurial firm, this time around, you don't need to try and employ a developer. You can simply try to do what? Do that on your own. You can easily do that on your own. And another example is what? Kodo. Kodo is for those who are into programming, who do code a lot. So you can write your code or give a prompt to Kodo to gives you a full list of code, whether Python or R or Mathematica or whatever you are dealing with. And it helps you to try to do it, intelligently go through by giving you some suggestions. And we have what we call the GitHub Copilot. And I know some of you are very, very okay with this particular one, especially those that are on GitHub, people that are on GitHub, you can co-use it with this particular one. And it helps you with code completion. Once you start a particular code and you give it to the prompt, give the idea to the prompt, it will produce the full code for you exactly how you want it. And then we have what we call Canva. Canva was one of the tools I wanted to spend a lot of time on, but for the purpose of time, sorry about that. With Canva, it helps businesses, students, especially those that want to do what? Their presentation slides. Especially if you have limited time to do what? To do your slides. You can use Canva to try and do it perfectly well. Once you give the idea to it, it will automatically do what? Create your full presentation slides for you. And the only thing you will just have to do is to do some editing. There was a video which I wanted to show you how to do that, but because of the challenges we are facing, I will just move on to the next one. And we have Midjourney. So Midjourney is one of the most popular AI image generation tool, and it is mostly one of my favorites. The reason why I'm saying it is one of my favorites is you can have an idea, no matter how abstract the idea is, it will give you some kind of what? Output that you will solely love. So if you are an artist guy, visual artist, and you really want to have some novelty in the work that you do, you can use Midjourney to do that, and you can equally or easily print it out, and that will be cool. Look at this image. If I am to tell you that I developed this image myself using Midjourney without drawing, it sometimes becomes a bit problematic for you. And I did this image when I was attending a conference on immunology. So what I did was I just gave the prompt to Midjourney that try and develop what? An image for me as to the tumor immune interaction using all the immune cells and trying to depict the tumor as a witch who comes at night. So with that basic prompt, just like we've learned, Midjourney is able to do what? Come out with a very unique image in this form for you. And it is something that I always stress that you just have to learn how to do it so that now you don't spend so much time sitting probably in the sun or spending a lot of hours trying to do what? Draw it. The only thing you just have to do is to have the idea and you will be able to get the results. There was a video I want to show, but that's fine. And this is in video. In video is also used to create what? create videos in a short form. And when you use it, it will create a very lovely story for you. Those who love storytelling, they can easily use it to create a story like it is their own. A typical example is when you look at now Facebook at the moment. When you scroll through your thread or your timeline, you could see that there are now this AI storytelling. They will tell you, oh, there was this rich man who was doing A, B, C, D. Most of them use what? In video AI. Give the idea and it creates the story for them. I did a very short 30-minute documentary, but for the sake of time, yes, I was just showing how in video can be used to generate the video in a very lovely manner as well. A man who was a porter and was trying to use that to what? Feed the family. And by just giving one unique prompt, you will be able to get your unique video. So basically, how AI is impacting students is very important. But the most important thing is this section. What does this mean for students? When you look at the statistics, AI is trying to affect entry-level jobs. And by affecting, what I mean is those jobs that requires like data imputation, data analysis, those simple data analysis components, it is affecting it. So what must you do as a student? You have to position yourself. You just have to position yourself because if you now look at the whole idea of AI, the big guys and the most employed or the most paid composition, it is also as a result of AI. So it is moving people up to think in a manner in which they can what? They can operate. And some of them has to do with what? The composition that we have. A lot of people think AI will replace all jobs. No, AI will rather augment human work, meaning you have to develop the skill in order to use it together. And AI, mostly people think AI functions like the human brain. But what it does is it operates differently from how we humans what think and how we try to what operate. And that is the most important thing we have to put at the back of our mind. So the key ethical issues in AI is what I'll just touch on for the sake of time is that it is mostly biased and its fairness is not really explained. Why am I saying this? If you look at the AI system, just like I started from the beginning, it deals or learns from data. And so if the data being used is not accurately inputted, then it means that the information the AI will give to you will be wrong. And that is a clear issue we are facing at the moment, especially from those in what? The African continent. We have most of our information not embedded into the AI system. So you can sometimes ask, let's say, AI to give you the traditional beliefs of, let's say, the Dagomba people, and you will see that it is saying certain things that is not really in line with the Dagomba people, but it will be using its idea to give you some sentiment about the topic. And that is the little bias of fairness that we are talking about. And privacy breach. Privacy breach also comes because some AI tools requires you to give more than enough. You will have to what? Give a lot of information, which sometimes you don't want to what? Provide. Example, when you are making payment, you have to give your what? Your credit card, your CCV numbers, which is very, very what? A very big issue to consider. The next thing is trust AI without checking them, and that is on the student. You have to make sure that every output you generate is verified, and you have to make sure that once you are using it, you don't lose your human judgment as well. So the key thing that I want to leave you guys with for the purpose of time is that AI is a powerful tool for you, but don't let it replace your creativity because your mind is still your greatest asset. All that you have to do is to try and augment AI with whatever you do so that you can just proceed respect to that. So with that said, I would just want to thank you very much for the opportunity and also sorry for the slight technical hitch that came across during the presentation. And thank you, Vivek. I don't know if there are any questions. I'm happy to take them within these few minutes left.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor, for this wonderful presentation. It was very interesting, and we loved it. And thank you very much once again.
Sure.
Before, yes, sir. Before moving on to the question and answer, we have a brief talk by our student Jennifer.
Okay.
Jennifer, are you, so we can just hear to her, then we can continue with the
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi
Jennifer, the floor is.
everyone,
Yeah, we could hear you, Jennifer.
Jennifer here, a student of BlueCrest and BSc Cybersecurity. So I would like to share my experience with BlueCrest. So growing up, I've always wanted to be a Chief Information Security Officer, and I'm happy today doing BSc Cybersecurity here at BlueCrest. So initially, I thought BSc Cybersecurity at BlueCrest would be more theory-based, but honestly, it's been practical with lab work and real-world applications. Our lectures always connect lessons with real-world cases like mobile money fraud, phishing, and also data breaches. And since these things happen in Ghana, it feels relevant. Yeah. And it makes it more practical and not textbook learning alone. And many of my classmates are passionate with tech. So we mostly share ideas and also practice outside class. And one advantage I would like to talk about is the partnership the school has with EC Council. So it gives the students 80% discount on certifications like ethical hacking, making it accessible and also motivating. Honestly, I feel confident that by the time I graduate, I'll be having a degree and also a professional certification. That would also position me for strong career opportunities. And I'm very, very happy to be a student of BlueCrest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad that you are utilizing the avenues provided by BlueCrest at cybersecurity courses, and we are very happy to hear this. And before moving on, and we have Sally. Sally is Sally available to talk about our courses? Okay. We can just move on to the question and answer now. Sally. Okay, please. Sally, the floor is yours, please. You can talk. Sally, please. You can talk, Sally. You can. The floor is yours. Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, I've done that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sally. Dr. Vivek, you need to also give me permission for me to be able to turn on my video.
Okay. Yes, please. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elisedo. I'm the admissions officer for cybersecurity related courses at BlueCrest University. I'm here today to talk to you about the wonderful IT courses we have available on our campus here. First off, I'll talk about our certification course in cybersecurity, which is known as the Advanced Certificate in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. It's a one-year course on our campus, and it's a weekend class, so if you're a worker, you will still be able to have time to attend it. We also have a degree course in cybersecurity, which is also a four-year program, and we run it as both a weekday and a weekend course. So regardless of your timetable, you can choose whichever class stream works best for you. We also have BSc in Information and Technology. It's also a degree program, which is also 4 years. We run that one also as both a weekday and a weekend course. And we have Technology, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. It is both a mixture of IT courses and business. So if you want to dabble in both aspects, you can take up that course and study. It's very new to the educational system and it has a lot to offer. We also have a master's program in information technology, which is also a one-year course. And we run it as a fully online course, or you can choose to do whether online or part-time online, part-time in class. So we have those options available for you. We currently have our admissions open for our March intake. So as we are speaking now, you can go onto our website and apply, and we will consider your application for admission here at BlueCrest. I'll be leaving my number in the chat box. So if anyone at all wants to reach out and talk to me about opportunities available at our school, I'll be ready and available to assist them in any way possible. And thank you very much, Dr. Vivek, for giving me this opportunity to address the audience. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Thank you very much. Okay, so we move on to the question and answer session now. Hope Dr. Nicholas, there, sir, you can just switch on your.
Yeah, so I'm here.
Okay,
Vivek,
okay,
I'm still
okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Please, you can type your questions on the chat box for doctor to see, or even you can ask, unmute yourself and ask the question. Both are fine. Okay, so you can type it on the chat box, or you can ask. Yes. So you can type your questions on the chat box, please.
So, Dr. Vivek, I don't know about this. A lot of the people asking for the slides. I don't know the protocol involved in that.
Slides. You can contact doctor. Doctor will give you the slides. It's okay. He'll share you if he's okay with that. If you're okay with that, you can share it, doctor. No problem. It's your wish. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So
So
I don't know. Am I permitted to leave my number?
Yeah, it's okay. It's upon you. It's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's my WhatsApp number. Probably if you request for it, I can do that.
So yeah. So you can type the questions if you have anything to type, please.
Okay, so someone is asking whether BlueCrest supports cryptomaniac in cybersecurity.
What is that? Sorry, I'm not able to see the
chat.
Chats properly. Some issues with that. Cryptomaniac and cybersecurity. But you just elaborate on this, please. Huh? What do you want? What do you mean by cryptomaniac? What is that? Could you please elaborate? BSc
Yeah,
cybersecurity. How to
so
become?
maybe
Yeah.
I'm trying to take this one. Someone, I think that's a good question. Someone was asking which AI tool to kind of like use in how do I call it? Electrical engineering. So basically, it depends on what you really want to do. Just like I keep saying, because in electrical engineering, there are some units where you are required to sometimes produce some codes in your domain. Let's say you are dealing with whatever situation and you just want, let's say, your code to be what? To be arranged in a very good or sequential manner for you. Then you can still use the Kodo. Or let's assume you just want a platform where you can do what? You can place your codes or those information and share with what? And share with colleagues. You can still use what? The GitHub Copilot. And those are things that can easily be used. So unless you try to be a bit specific on what you want to do, and then that can be fine in its domain. Because we have this tool called the LT Spice, but I don't want to go into details with it because it's more like an optimization plugins. And if it's not something you are doing, it won't really help you in that domain. So yeah, I think this from Kofi S. Menfa. I hope probably this helps.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Doctor. BSc, how do you, Samuel says so. BSc Computer Science, Security Engineer. You should be joining cybersecurity. I think you have to join BSc in cybersecurity if you want to become a cybersecurity professional, right? Winston is asking, I'm interested in master online. We don't have an on masters in cybersecurity as of now, but we are going to start it by fall 2026. We'll be having a master's program in cyber security. So, but as of spring, we don't have a program. No, so you should wait for one more semester, or you can join your advanced certificate program. Okay.
Okay, so I saw three, which I would just want to comment briefly. So someone was saying that Victoria is saying she is into fashion. And so Victoria, just like I said, when you look at the mid journey AI tool that I showed, the one I just used to develop that witch image, it's a very good tool where you can easily use it. I know that for fashion design, you guys sometimes have a sketch. So you can just do the sketch and then upload it on that AI tool. And it will just give you a very nice, different kind of what? Shapes and design for you to just select on. And I like this type of questions because the first thing is that you will have to have the idea. And the moment you have the idea, the AI tool will generate a series of images for you to select on. So you realize that it gives you so many options to try and what? To try and use. So I hope, Victoria, maybe that helps. And yeah, I'm very close to Dr. Vivek. So anytime you meet him indirectly, it's like you've met me. So since you're a student at BlueCrest, you can just pass by the IT unit and have discussions in that domain. Yeah. And I think someone was asking AI tool for short videos. Yeah, so I made mention of InVideo. So unfortunately, we couldn't watch the Porter video that I wanted to show. But that was a very nice short video that I generated from InVideo. So you can easily use that to do what? To generate short videos. And it is now rampant on social media in that domain. Yeah. Great.
Okay. I think it's
Yeah.
over.
So
We're running out of time. Huh?
yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
Uh, Thank you, Doctor. So it was very interesting and wonderful presentation. I can see the level of interest in the audience, and they are coming up with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
That shows that it has been very interesting one. Thank you very much,
Mhm.
sir, for this wonderful
Sure.
presentation.
Thank you too.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And I also thanks the audience. And if you have anything related to BlueCrest, if you want to ask, you can contact the Mr. Sally, or even Dr. Nicholas is available. He's teaching the master level programs and bachelor programs, and he is supporting in a lot of this as a kind of initiative. And he's an expert in AI as well. So good luck. Thank you all.
Sure.
And if you like, yeah, thank you, sir. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone, and nice meeting you all. Bye. Mhm.